Hi everyone and good afternoon. Welcome to Hype, the live blog of hospitality and travel tech. Good afternoon, Rexana. How are you, darling?
Very well in yourself, Enzo.
Well, really excited, waiting
Mhm.
for this episode this afternoon because we are touching some new topics. Something that honestly I'm not so deeply into, but actually the curiosity of people always asking around, Web 3.0, blockchain, how this world, is moving ahead or not. Is it just a buzzword or is a new trend? Is it effective? An efficient, technology. It's a very curiosity I have today.
Yeah, me too. I have very little knowledge about it, so I'm really looking forward to listening to what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we have two. Let's say the episode is divided in two parts. The first part is more trying to understand Web 3.0, blockchain. We have a good fella, is giving us some coaching on this topic. And then we also invited the CEO and founder of a very interesting startup, Italian based but operating globally, which is providing an interesting solution for increasing data booking through blockchain technology. So let's open the webcam of those two guests. So we are Gianfranco and Antonio. Good afternoon, guys. How are you?
Good afternoon. Very well. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you. Thank
Hi,
you.
hi. Yeah,
Hi,
thank you
Antonio.
for the invitation.
Right. Okay, so let's do this. Let's start, by introducing yourself. Maybe Antonio can give some words of you.
Yeah, sure. So I'm the CEO and co-founder of Tachyon. So I'm gonna explain later how we are, using blockchain technology into to change what we think about a reservation or a booking so far. So we're based in Milan. I also co-founded another startup before this one, still in the travel industry. I'm from outside actually the travel industry, so I think that's why also maybe I had another point of view, about how things should work. And very happy to be here. So yeah, I'm gonna, I don't wanna spoiler anything about Titan, but very very happy to be with you this afternoon.
Yeah, more than welcome, Antonio. And I like the fact that you are not from the travel industry, but you launched two startups in the travel. It's like me.
Yeah,
It's like me. I go to restaurant at least 2-3 times per week. I'm not a restaurant owners or managers, but I want to open a restaurant now. I feel like I would like to open a restaurant and a tapas bar without any experience. Probably this is good. It's different angle to be
yeah.
a little bit out of the box. Sometimes give a different vision perspective, and this may be a key factor for succeeding. So
Yeah.
anyway, Gianfranco, on you. Who are you?
Thank you very much once again for having me. My name is Gianfranco. I am co-founder of Suite Accommodations. We have accommodations in Barcelona, Sevilla, and Lloret de Mar. And I'm also part of Hospitalidad Emprendedora. We are an education and communication platform for new technologies and innovation around tourism and especially hospitality. We talk about Web3, AI, we're teachers in the university, podcast, newsletter, a little bit of everything in order to share some knowledge and share our journey of what we are experimenting with and what we're learning about.
Fantastic. Sharing is the king. So what I will do now, we'll pull up your slides. So we start your little masterclass on Web 3.0. And then, Roxanne, Antonio. Meanwhile, Gianfranco is giving us some understanding, some overview about this. Feel free to step into the conversation or the presentation of Gianfranco if you want to raise some question. Also from the audience, guys, feel free to comment in the space of LinkedIn if you are interested to know more about what Gianfranco is doing or what Antonio is providing. Feel free to send some comments here or questions. We are open to give you the space to communicate directly and engage directly live with our guest. All right, so Gianfranco, go ahead.
Perfect. So I've tried to distill this information and put it as simple and direct as possible, hoping to transfer a concept that can be quite different, also because it's inviting us to think differently, which is what I like about what Antonio said, that he comes from a different industry. Blockchain also invites us to think differently, a bit outside of the box of what we have so far. What is blockchain? Essentially, a blockchain network is a record, a digital ledger of events that is distributed or shared among different parties. This record can only be updated based on the consensus of the majority of the participants, the majority of this party, and once the information is entered, cannot be deleted or changed or modified. That is a very good and basic explanation that actually the creator of Netscape shared, and we like it because it covers all the main points. But what are the benefits that this technology brings us? That's what we actually care about, right? So this technology helps us to be more efficient and have more speed when we transfer digital assets, which could be data, information, reservations, etc. So for example, because we in a blockchain network, every participant has a copy of the record, there is no necessity for conciliation of records, for example. No, that could be a benefit that makes us much more efficient as a business. We also have traceability, the ability to know what are the steps or the journeys that these digital assets are going through. So for example, when we talk about inventory, we're able to know how our inventory is being sold between which parties and intermediaries in order to understand how our guest is coming to us. For example, when we talk about hotels, right? That's very important. And right now it's very hard to trace how our inventory is being sold online. It gives us better transparency because everybody that is part of the network has access to the information of the network, like what are the assets being transferred from which company to which company or from which user to which user. As we said before, the information cannot be changed. That's also a big advantage when we're talking about security assets and everything. We don't want any information just to be able to be modified by any person without everybody's consensus.
Can I? Sorry, Gianfranco. Sorry
Go
to
ahead.
interrupt you because this is the part that most interesting me. Really, the aspect of transparency. Okay,
Yeah,
the fact that we can track all the journey, all the path, all the stakeholders engaged in this process, right? But is this probably the reason why this is a little bit provocative, as a question? Probably
that's
why
what we like.
people still, you know, are concerned about blockchain technology.
It could be because if you think
Antonio,
about it,
also you feel free to answer.
it could very well be because if you think about it, information right now it's power, it's gold, and many like how we have competitive advantage is based on the information that we hold. So we don't want everybody to know our private or secret recipe of our company, right? Uh, Later, I'm going to show which types of blockchains there are, but there are blockchains that are being built specifically for business cases where you all the parties involved decide which information is transparent and which one will be kept private. So you're not sharing all the information. You can share and disclose the information that you're happy to disclose.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Also, the information is more secure because there's cryptography in between there. So in the last couple of years, we've seen big data breaches of huge companies in the tourism industry where private and personal data of clients was just taken by hackers. And that is much harder to happen when we have our data through blockchain technology because everything is cryptography secured. And then also the consensus of all the parties. Unfortunately, the way we have internet right now, it's happened that sometimes big startups or big tech companies can decide what to do. For example, they can take your profile down from Airbnb, and we're going to be also maybe what you said right now, not so correct. I don't know, but Airbnb can take your profile down because there's been some complaints from guests, and they decide to take your profile down, and then you have no say in it, and you lose everything that you built on that network, right? This is something that we're hoping that Web3 and blockchain technology can solve, because sometimes these decisions are not necessarily fair. And many companies have built their reputation on these platforms, and they own nothing. You don't own your reviews, you don't own anything. If they close that down, you cannot show that those reviews were really for your company, the good ones that you want to take to a different platform, for example. No? So this is things that we're hoping this technology can come and solve. When we talk about blockchain technology, there's three main characteristics that no network can completely fulfill. Out of these three, they say that only two of them can be really fulfilled, and there's one that is always going to be kind of weaker. It's decentralization, so the amount of parties that are participant of this network, security, and scalability, how fast or how many transactions we can take on the network. If we have a very decentralized and secure network, like for example, Bitcoin could be considered decentralized, very decentralized and secure, it's not so scalable. It's not so easy to take on many transactions and do it fast. If you want something that is fast and secure, you're going to depend on few parties. You cannot distribute the network in so many parties. So it's not going to be so decentralized. So there's always this trilemma that the builders are trying to fix through this technology to see how we can have a right balance. And this is how these different types of blockchains come about. We have originally public blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're open access. Anybody can be participant of this network as soon as you have a specific computer or a certain amount of money to participate, but the access is open. Anybody can come in. The transparency is super high, and they prioritize decentralization. Then you have private blockchains, fully private, only for the companies to share their own information amongst their different departments, for example, or with their collaborators. Those are restricted access. The transparency is very low. It's just between them because they don't need to be transparent. They're holding their company information, but they're very fast and scalable. And then we have consortium or federated blockchains. And this one is very interesting for the tourism industry because we have Camino Network, which is actually being built specifically for our industry. And this one has all the participants have to be companies from the tourism industry. And these participants are the ones that are going to say if another participant can join. So it's open access, but it's controlled. So they only want tourism companies to be part of this blockchain. The transparency is moderated, and they're trying to keep a balance between transparency, scalability, and a little bit more of control. So these are, for when you were talking about not everybody wants all your information to be fully transparent. For example, this is a solution to that, you know? When we talk about blockchain, why is it important? Let's think that, for example, cars were a technology to move people from one place to the other, right? When we had cars at first, we had these cobblestone roads, which were good for the first cars, but then we started having faster cars, and we had to update our roads into highways because our cars were faster, and we needed to move faster and to be a bit more efficient to move from one place to another. Now, we have the technology of internet that, if you think about it, is quite new. It's not more than 50 years old. It's very new. And right now, we're evolving into this new internet, politics with all this like amount of data that we're creating day by day. It's uncomparable to the amount of data that we were creating just 5 years ago before COVID, for example. So we need better highways for our data, for our assets. And that's what blockchain is the highway for the new internet. That's how you can see it. And I think that's a very visual way to think, okay, this is the technology that we need to start moving digital assets from one place to another. We can talk about the evolution of internet. Many people have probably seen this chart, but when we talk about Web3, the difference is that now we don't only read and write on the internet, we also own. So we have been putting our data online everywhere. All these great AIs that are now coming are being trained on your data, my data, all of our data, but we don't own that data. We cannot go to OpenAI and be like, hey, you use my data to train, now you owe me money, because that data is not yours. Your pictures online are not yours. Everything that you're posting is not yours. So this new internet is giving us the ability to own our data, to own our identity. It's giving us digital property, something that we don't have right now. We have a lot of digital things. We have e-commerce, for example, but we don't have digital money. We have money that has been made into digital, but is the money that we always had, but we don't have digital cash. And that's, for example, what Bitcoin is trying to be, digital cash. So this technology is coming in order to open new ways of transferring things between each other, letting us own our digital identity. Digital identity is going to be a huge thing in the next years. Europe is already working on a digital identity project for us to travel and already hold on our phones, which are our digital wallets, our passports, all the documents that we need when we travel from one country to another, in a way that we can certify it, show that it's really us, and that it's a real document issued by a government. And that's going to be done through blockchain technology. We're not going to know about it. They're just going to give it to us, but it's really being built on blockchain. So we're going to have ways to have these assets that are brought by the government, and that is the technology that we need to use in order to operate in the new world. And then also there's blockchains that are fully public that allow us to do other things without an intermediary, without the government, because these technologies also came to life to give us new freedoms, I would like to think. And just a very quick and concept way to englobe the concept of Web3 is it encompasses the vision of a better internet with identity and digital assets, an internet that hopefully is based mostly on open protocols that value transparency and innovation, and that puts the user in control of their data. That's the promise of Web3. Are we going to get there? I don't know. I hope. I sure hope.
Okay. All right. It's done, right? It's completed. Now I'm fine. Like I can do more blockchain stuff now. Right, Roxanne. You are more or less like me. You are not aware of anything about blockchain. What is your first question, raise hand?
Yeah, I don't really have a question. It's more thank you because now I understand it. I think the analogy with the road, it was really good to give an idea of what that's going to be like, and what's the purpose of it.
Well, maybe Gianfranco, if you should suggest Roxanne, as she's a recruiter, she will show the platform later with the job opening of what might be an interesting synchronization link between recruitment activity and using blockchain technology in this scenario. How would you, for example, suggest, Roxanne, to implement blockchain for that type of business?
Good one, because you're putting me on the spot, but I have one. And for example, when people can train themselves, there's a lot of self-learning right now online. There's a lot of learning that we do to develop our careers that is not necessarily university. But are there really certifications that can, for example, tell us that a person really went through that learning and is certified by that platform or X thing? I don't think there's a lot of certifications for the digital platforms where a recruiter can be like, okay, that person really went through that whole course. This certification is issued by that platform, and it's a real certification for that user. That can be done through the digital identity of the person. It can also be done in a way that is completely anonymous. So like the person can share you their certificate without really sharing you more things about themselves that are not necessary in order to get a job, for example. Yeah. And that you can verify that that platform really issued that certificate, because it's issued by the address of that platform, and that certificate would be an NFT. Just to know which concept or which technology would be that certificate would really be an NFT. I think that could help, for example, recruiters to know if people are really doing the studies that they say they're doing.
Interesting. Antonio, what do you feel to add on this, angle from Gianfranco in general and about the presentation of Gianfranco?
Yeah, no, super interesting, actually.
Oh, Sam, we need some blockchain here today. The connectivity is going down.
Can you hear
back
me?
again. You are back again. Yes.
Okay, amazing. So I was saying that it's very interesting, because as Gianfranco explained very well, there are a lot of opportunities related to, blockchain. So, you have the decentralization power, you have the transparency, you have the security, you have the digital ownership, you have the digital identity. So I do believe, that it's any kind of big technology that can actually shape the world. So there are a lot of entrants. So you need to understand. We need, as in like entrepreneurs or professionals, we need to understand which is the best angle for us, and try to build on top of that opportunity. But I do see that that's the most interesting part of this technology. It's not just one added value; it can be many. So there are really a lot of opportunities, and we just saw so far just a very, very little
little drop.
Yeah.
So let's see. That's when I first met Tachyon, I really was was catching my eyes really, really a lot. That's why I wanted to have you on this episode, Antonio, because I think what you have created for this empowering direct booking approach, but leveraging something which was there, no one was thinking about something like that. Actually, I think you have turned this new business model in a very, very interesting way. So you know what, I will pull up your slides, and this way you can introduce Tachyon and explain how do you use blockchain for hospitality. Here we are.
Okay. So, let's start with this, simple situation. So right now, think about, your iPhone, or your phone. You bought it. So, you have it, you own it, you can do whatever you want with it. You can use it, you can, give it to the person, another person. Or, if you don't want to use it anymore, you can even resell it or, transfer it for free. No? That's what you can do with your iPhone, and that's what you can do with any kind of physical good. Think about right now a non-refundable hotel reservation. So you booked it, you paid for it. For it, you can give it to anyone. Why? And that's the point. So
I think
the reservation is not yours. It's just a
Antonio,
service.
do you have some connectivity issue because you are breaking? Just in making sure that you have all the application on your desktop closed. Just in this way, if you have any notification, probably there is some notification you receive, and this will give you some little impact on the operation. And sorry, go ahead.
Now it's better. Let's try. I'm closing really everything. So
fantastic.
Okay. So I was saying, that's the situation right now. So you have a physical good, it's yours, like an iPhone, you can do whatever you want with it. A reservation, it's not yours. And this is the situation right now. So 1 out of 3 people choose actually a non-refundable hotel reservation when booking because they want to save money. Now, it makes sense. But as we said, if they can go, they just lose the money spent. No, they can do nothing with that reservation today, actually until today. Because what we are doing at Tachyon is we are transforming non-refundable bookings from what they are right now, nominal contract for services, into resellable digital goods. So we are exploiting the blockchain and the NFT opportunity in terms of digital ownership. So as Gianfranco was saying before, this technology, one of the added value is to create digital ownership. And we are doing this. So we are transforming bookings from contract into digital goods. And we are creating not, let's say, we haven't called it an NFT or, an NFT booking. We call it a tag. So right now, when you book, we don't give you a booking, we give you a tag, which is a completely different, idea and concept, because this one is yours. So it becomes your digital property. It costs less because it's always the best price available. And I mean, if you can go, you can just, resell it. So going a little bit deeper on how does it work. So we launched the business, it was October 2022. So right now it's a little bit less than 2 years. And we are vertical right now within the hospitality industry. And we created a new rate for the hotel industry. And we call it the resellable rate. So you can see, from the screen that you're going to have two options. So the refundable one, the usual one, and the resellable rate by Tachyon. Okay, so you book it on the hotel website. This is a prepaid non-refundable, rate. And then if you go, fine. I mean, you just go to the check-in and that's it. Otherwise, you can resell it. So you go on Tachyon. So on one hand, we have created a new rate, and on the other hand, we have created the first ever secondary market peer-to-peer, where people can actually buy and sell reservation. So you have a tag, you can use it, you're going to resell it. So you're going to put it up for sale on Tachyon, and who is going to buy your reservation? So it can be another traveler interested into, what you're selling, because it's of course a better price than the one that can find on, on the primary market. So it's a deal for the traveler. Or, and this is very interesting, it's coming from, the industry. So hotels can actually buy back anonymously the reservation put for sale. So, they can buy back at a lower price, getting back the availability and sell it back again on the primary, on their website. So this is, a kind of arbitrage that they can make on their own reservation, like earning 2 times. As a last option, as Tachyon, right now we decided to guarantee the full resellability a true resellability of the reservation. So we are always making an offer to the customer, 50% of the booking value in credits that they can use to make new purchases on Tachyon. So this is how it works. Okay, so I mean, it's like a B2B2C on the booking, and it's a peer-to-peer, let's say, exchange on the reselling. So far, as we said, we launched 2002, so just numbers, parent and Web3 approach. Can you still hear me? I hope so. We generated more than 88 million in tax. So
you mean 8 million in terms
in booking value, resulting in
terms of booking? Sorry,
of reservations,
because we got lost. 8 million euro in terms of
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is resulting into 1,000 single reservations. Out of them, 200 has actually been resold on Tachyon. And last month, just to give you very few updated numbers, we generated 1 million, so 1 million euros. So it's growing 50% month over month. So this is something that is actually working and growing for the travelers, because I mean, it makes sense. So they pay the same price and they have something more. So they have also the flexibility to resell the reservation. What about the hotels, of course? So why should they offer this kind of solution to the traveler? So I do believe that this is actually also a game changer for hotels, because the resellable rate is available just for the hotel website. So as you know, and as everyone in the industry knows, hotels are always struggling to drive more direct bookings on their website. So this is where we want to go. So a traveler can find the same booking, same price, which is just not refundable on an OTA. Instead, it's flexible because it's resellable on the hotel website. So this can be actually this resellability concept, and the resellable rate can be actually a tool that can drive more conversion on the hotel website. Another cool advantage is that we are making in this way, like offering resellability and flexibility to the customers, we are making this kind of reservation more appealing. And this is still a prepaid non-refundable for the hotel. So this can actually be turned into, a huge improvement of cash flow. And we are seeing it actually because we have a large booking window related to the resellable rate, much higher than the one, usually related to non-refundable. Last one, this is not just about, reservation. As I said before, hotels can actually be the one involved into our secondary market. So they can buy, reservations, they can, make more money out of that. And they also earn a royalty every time a booking is resolved. This is like, any kind of Web3 marketplace mechanism. So there are royalties related to who actually created the NFT and the token. So this is for hotels. And just to give you also updated numbers about the industry. So right now we are active in Italy and Spain, and more than 600 industry leaders decided to, use this solution from the hospitality world. We work with, small independent hotels, but we also work with big international chains like B&B Hotels and Best Western. We also work a lot and we partner a lot, and this is another Web3 aspect. I would say that people are always, into the partnership, mode. So we partner a lot with Booking Engine, with revenue management consultancy company, in order to drive and educate the industry regarding this new opportunity. But that's for us just the beginning, no? Because this is what is happening right now with hotel reservation. But think about doing the same for flight tickets, train tickets, cruises reservation, restaurants, experiences, trips. So, the same concept can be applicable to all the non-refundable reservation. And indeed, and I want to close with this funny story, and then I leave you the question and the discussion. We are actually in September starting with a new category, which is the experience category. So this is a kind of unofficial communication, and this is funny because a few months ago, one of the main company providing a gondola tour in Venice contacted us, as just an organic request. So just to give you an idea on how powerful could be this kind of innovation. So they just wrote on our website, like filled the form, just saying, hey, but we saw that this is happening for hotel reservation. Can we apply the same for our own reservation? And we said, well, we have never thought about this, but this seems really, a very interesting concept, especially thinking that, one of the oldest profession, I think in Italy and maybe in Europe overall, is gonna issue reservation on the blockchain. So that's where we that's the opportunity that we wanna bring to the market. So that's the concept. We can create digital ownership. Bookings can be transformed into digital goods, or digital assets. People can become the owner, and for businesses, this can be a huge opportunities related to direct bookings, revenue streams opportunity, and so on. That's what we want to do, and that's what we are doing right now for the hospitality, and that's what we are going to do, for many other industries.
Wow, Antonio, you are practically transforming travelers in travel agents now. This is sort of sharing economy, a kind of concept, right?
Yeah, exactly. They have finally, the power to decide what to do with what they paid for.
One question related to that price. Okay, so I'm booking a room €100, not refundable. I'm not going there. Do I have some limitation in terms of which price I can resell it? If I want to resell it at a higher price, I can?
Yeah, right now, yes. So we have, thought a lot about this. So if there could be like speculation problems and so on, but then we realized that this is very different from, the ticketing industry, because for the ticketing industry,
they are multiplicating revenue, like they buying for 100 and resell it at 800.
Yeah, that's what's happening. That's what is happening for events, because you have a very small supply, and when you have the sold out, you can actually control the market. But this is very difficult to be applied to the
Sure.
applicable to the hospitality industry, because it's very difficult
It's not
to
a huge event.
control the market. Because
It's
you
a
have
night
dates.
stay at the end.
You have dates, you have number of guests, you have type of rooms, you have a geographical scope. So that's very difficult. So far 2 years we haven't seen any kind of speculation on our secondary market.
Okay.
So in theory, yes, but then in the reality, people are using it just to not use money. That's more
I was going to
point.
ask exactly the same question. If as a revenue manager before my time in recruitment, I'm thinking of the event dates like Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Ed Sheeran, and when these sort of concert dates are announced, the hotels very quickly fill up and every revenue manager is sitting there monitoring their inventory. So it could end up being a situation where your hotel's sold out, and then those rooms are being resold on TachiCon. And so how would the hotels control that if that were to happen? Is there a way that a hotel can reject the resale of rooms, perhaps?
I mean, it's very, I'd say, easy for us to control this situation, because in the end, the booking is still made on their website. So, they can actually have the full control of what they are actually, selling. So they can actually put a limitation on the number of rooms that can actually be booked at the resellable rate. Like last option, they can put offline the resellable rate just for that date, and having just the other option. So, it's actually up to the hotel decides if and how to manage this situation, because they have the full control of what they are booking. So we are just, a technology provider for them. But this is the situation. So even if they sell something, so they make money out of the reservation, they also are earning a gain from any reselling. So, like situation without Tachyon, they are just selling. Situation with Tachyon, they are selling and they're also earning from the secondary market. So they can control it, but even if they want to exploit the full opportunities, they still make more money versus what is the current situation.
So
Yeah, because I remember when you presented me the first time Tachyon, that if the traveler is able to resell that room, there's some commission to pay back Tachyon, and then you will recognize 50% of that commission to the hotel back, right?
Correct.
So it's actually generating some additional
a new revenue stream.
Yeah.
It's a very circulating and sharing economy concept. I like it. What do you think, Gianfranco? Would you apply this on your hotel?
I already have. Actually, our accommodations were one of the first ones in Spain to experiment with it. So definitely.
So do you know each other?
Yeah, we have worked with each other before, and this is actually a conversation that I had with our revenue manager at that time. What happens if people resell it much more expensive or much lower, and then all of a sudden the perception of your value of your accommodation is being owned by somebody else and not you. But if you think about it, aren't there channels already selling your accommodation at prices that you were not agreeing on? I think there are.
Always. And it's a headache.
We already lost control. But in this case, like Antonio said, you already sold that reservation on your website at the price that you wanted. So you already, as a hotel, you already got that money at the price that you were selling. If that person cannot come or whatever, we have not seen the speculation on our guests. We have had it for over a year, and nobody has ever tried to sell it at 3 times the price or anything. And actually, we have rebought some of that inventory a couple of times and then put it back on sale, because it's an extra tool as a revenue manager that you have in order to, if you know that you're already fully booked, why not reclaim that inventory and then sell it back again?
Yeah, I mean, from a reservations revenue perspective, when you're sitting with the hotel fully booked, to go through every arrival reservation to see which one's coming and which one isn't, if you have this technology and you can see what's being put back on sale, basically, then you're able to maximize that revenue and the sale of those rooms quite easily. Then that would be very beneficial.
Also think about that, I mean, the secondary market, it's not gonna cannibalize, the primary one. Why? Because when you sell something, that pack has specific dates, has a specific number of guests, specific room. So, it's not the same customer journey as a new booking. That's why we are also, building our marketplace as an inspirational environment, no? So you go there looking for deals, you don't know where to go. Maybe you're gonna, have a weekend, or you wanna travel in the next months. So you go there and see what is, up for sale. If you wanna book something, you're gonna go for the regular process. So you're gonna go, on the OTA, on the website, looking for your specific dates, your specific number of guests, and so on. So, that's also something that, it's not actually really affecting the secondary market is not affecting the primary. It's more adding value.
I was just trying to read the comments of Vladimir, trying to understand.
Yeah, about the regulation. So, we can actually, in our smart contract, we can put, a maximum and a minimum, value or percentage related to the reselling. So it can be, we can do it in an hour. So people can just resell it at a higher price or at a lower price. But that was something in the beginning was, let's see how people are, what's the behavior of people. And then we actually realized that was just, a worry, but nothing real. Yeah. But we can do that.
I have one question. I don't know if you have this information. How roughly is the percentage of not refundable booking volume in the industry? Are you aware of this? Across all the industry, approximately what would be the quote of not refundable rates purchased versus flexible rate plan?
It's flip-flopped back and forward, sorry. Just from the trend that I've seen working in hotels, obviously when we went into COVID, there were a lot more bar bookings, so fully flexible bookings being made. Prior to COVID, there was a lot of advanced purchase was a good pricing tool, and a lot of bookings were coming through on that advanced purchase. People were looking for a saving, and I think it's sort of going back into that world now of the advanced purchase because of the economic climates, right? So people are looking further out perhaps sometimes, although the booking lead time is quite short at the moment too. But looking for advanced purchase and looking for where they can make savings on sort of best rates, and securing them in advance on advanced purchase rates.
Got it. And actually, a couple of years ago, I've seen a similar solution. I don't remember if I think I told you already, Antonio and Gianfranco, which is applicable for a flight company. So you purchase a flight ticket. For some reason, you cannot fly anymore, but you can resell the seats. So basically, it's a US company. I don't remember the name. But the concept was great. When I first met this company, then I was thinking, why we are not doing the same in the hotel industry, right? Here we are now, Antonio, from Milano, from Napoli, actually. Cool.
Antonio, we'll go into the airline industry and solve that problem of losing your money whenever you book a flight.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. Our vision is to do it for any kind of reservation. So any kind of booking, same idea. So that's the point.
Okay, so Vladimir here again. What is the legal state of TAC? Is it already compliant with regulation like MiCA? Probably it was covered. John later.
Yeah. Actually, that's what we are doing. So our solution, I would say it's more, a Web 2.5 solution, let's say, right now. So when the booking is made, we generate an NFT and we store it within our custodial wallet. And then we create also the TAC, which is, the Web 2 version of the NFT, which is connected to the NFT. So actually, in the end, on our marketplace, you are still reselling the TAC, which is the Web 2 version. So you're not actually reselling NFT. You're not, making money out of NFT. We are using the NFT as the certificate of ownership behind this secondary market. So, it's, we don't have to, we are, there are no legal issue about the MiCA or, the regulation. But yes, we are looking a lot into what is, happening and how the regulation is evolving, because we also want to evolve how, the mechanism works, because, we are sure that in the near future, people are gonna actually buy, own, sell NFTs, not how they are used to right now. So maybe they're not gonna need a wallet, or like they're not gonna need to pay by crypto, or not as they're doing right now. So it's gonna be much easier. So, and we will be ready for when this is gonna be really fully Web3, and I hope soon, actually.
Okay. Right, Vladimir, if you want to know more, feel free to get in touch with Antonio via LinkedIn. Now I want to give you 5 minutes, Roxanne. We are a little bit running over. What are the latest job opportunities right now?
Sure. So back again, of course, on behalf of Edwards and Finn, I have to show my lovely team up on the screen every time we come on. We recruit specifically for hotels, travel industry, and now hotel tech as well. And each one of us have worked in the hospitality industry for some time in our careers. So you're sure to know that if you do have a job on board with us, that we are very focused in the talent that we'll be bringing across to you.
Actually, Antonio, sorry to interrupt you, Roxanne.
Yeah.
Actually, Antonio, if you're looking to expand in UK, you have the right person to talk to.
Cool. Interesting.
Indeed. So just bringing up the job board again, you can see that we still have quite a number of UK cluster revenue manager roles that are on. We've had a new one just in, so distributions manager in London, that's come on just this last week. And then some great senior roles on for anybody who is interested. And then looking at the sales, marketing, e-commerce, which is now also including the tech positions, we have a number of sales executive tech positions in Europe, South Africa, Dubai, and Baltics. And this is for a hotel tech company that's expanding in these regions. So if anything on here sort of jumps out at you, please do let me know. You can contact me on LinkedIn and I can give you more information about each of the roles or whichever role you are looking for. We have a lot of talents as well through our networks and through our continuous search for talent for the roles. So if you are struggling with any positions, please also just reach out to us. We can quite quickly turn around a candidate shortlist for you of within 3 to 7 days, usually on a role. So yes, use us. We've got the talents and we want to share it with the companies that have positions available.
Cool. All right, guys, we are at the end. I don't know if you want to add last words, Gianfranco, Antonio, from your side.
No, maybe just that at first it might be hard to start understanding all the possibilities that this new technology opens for us. But I invite all the professionals from the industry to start reading about it, start trying to get informed and educated, because with all this new AI, which is maybe what is slapping us in the face a bit more evidently, I believe this technology, blockchain, is going to be needed in order to put a bit more guardrails and certify what content is real, what content is not, for example, which is going to be a huge problem in the coming years, deep fakes and all these things, and ownership of our data. It's coming no matter what. It might be in the back end, but as professionals, we need to understand what are the opportunities and the challenges that this is going to bring us. So I invite people to start exploring what's happening.
You have a platform, a knowledge platform, something like people can read and listen, right? You have a podcast channel too?
Hospitalidad Emprendedora, it's in Spanish. We have several interviews with professionals from the travel industry that are building on Web3, like people from Camino Network that I spoke before as well. And then we used to have a course in Spanish also for initiation in blockchain and Web3, but it was so hard to keep it going that we stopped it. But we're preparing an executive program with a university in Spain. It's going to be in person in Barcelona, and it will start in November. Web3 and blockchain for accommodation businesses, actually.
Save a seat for me, Gianfranco, please.
I will send you all the information.
Cool. Antonio, last words?
Yeah, I mean, very, very quickly, just adding on what Gianfranco said, I do see, a lot of opportunities. We are exploiting one. So, yeah, I mean, I think that all the professionals within the industry should be, should try at least what is happening, in the industry, try new solution, test the solution, and then, if they may make sense, go on. Otherwise, test other solution. But I do see, a huge opportunity for innovation, and that's what we need, at least to test and see if it makes sense for us or not. So that's, I think, the last advice that I would like to share with everyone.
Thanks, Antonio. Thanks, Gianfranco. Roxanne, I'll see you to the next episode. I think we're going to have a little break because it's summer coming. It's going to be hot, and people doesn't want to sit and watch too much longer those live streaming technical stuff on the beach. So anyway, stay tuned because I will share some upcoming dates. So not sure what is going to be the next one, which will be the topic and the speaker, but stay tuned and we'll share with you more information soon. Thanks again, Gianfranco. Thanks, Antonio. Thanks, Rohan, and wish you to meet you person soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.